Did you know that Batman the Animated Series was heavily inspired by film noir aesthetics? Hi, I'm Maya.
And I'm Azure.
And this is Clueless and Connoisseur. So this is the first episode we were filming and uploading. So we're going to explain a little what that means. So basically our show, we are both picking a series. Like we're both picking out one series.
One series.
That we know a lot about. Like the person who picks it knows a lot about.
Yeah.
But the other person
doesn't
know anything or like barely knows anything.
Yeah.
And we're doing this to see like how like we perceive these like shows and stuff and like these episodes like from the perspective of someone who like really loves it and is
nerds and not nerds.
Yeah. My show that I've picked is Batman the Animated Series. A little background on me. I really love Batman. It's my special interest. And I've loved it for like a couple of years now. I didn't grow up with I watched it like as a kid, but like I don't remember a lot of it, and I wasn't super into it. But I've been super into it for like a couple of years now, and just like comic media in general. I love comics, and yeah. But I love Batman, and I love this show a lot. So I chose the show. And then what's your background with Batman?
I grew up with like a DC. Both parents actually are like big DC fans, but like my dad doesn't talk about it as much as my mom does. My mom just really likes Wonder Woman.
Oh, my mom too. Me mom too.
So I didn't really grow up with DC or like any superhero related things unless my mom was watching like a Superman show.
Aww.
But like, I didn't know much about it until like recently when like everything just started popping up and I was like, whoa. I still don't know much about it.
Yeah. So, yeah, we have like similar like childhood backgrounds with it. It's like my dad doesn't like superhero media. He likes comics. He doesn't like superheroes. Huh. I'm scared my earring keeps clanging on the mic. But but he does like Batman the Animated Series. So like I said, like I watched a couple episodes, or I watched as a kid. I was a stupid kid, so I don't remember any of it. So
today we're going to be doing the first episode.
Yeah, we watched the first episode.
We did.
And which is On Leather Wings, if you don't know.
Yes.
It was the first episode produced. It was the first episode Kevin Conroy ever voiced in.
Who would have thought they'd be used to create a monster?
So I want to know your thoughts first.
Okay, I'm going to like dig as far back as I can. I was like, okay, so like watching this, I'm trying to remember. There was that one scene, like kind of towards the beginning, where this guy's got like the tape thing and he's like talking into it, and he just sounds so excited. I know nothing on this guy, but he's just happy to be there. He's so excited to be there. And like honestly, I totally get that. Like he's just like, yeah. And then he gets freaking attacked by this thing, and I'm like, what the heck was that? In all of my sleep paralysis days, I have never seen anything like that. It was a little freaky, I'm not gonna lie. And then it goes into, like, this whole, I don't even remember, like, it's kind of like a blur from there. But then there's, like, the commissioner guy, who I know him.
Okay.
I've seen him,
That's good.
like, before. And then this other guy that is like some detective, and I like actually really like his accent. I wish everyone would talk like that.
That's real.
It's really silly. And they're like beefing with each other, and I'm like, okay, whatever. But for some reason, the detective guy turns to this other guy who's like watching in the background, and the other guy's like, yeah, I'll put him in jail for you. Who is that guy?
Okay, so I'm actually gonna cut in with one of my things. I have my phone here. I took notes because I'm a professional, I guess. I don't know. So one of the things I really loved about this episode is that just like the series in general, is that's Harvey Dent. Harvey Dent is Two-Face. Do you know who Two-Face is, right?
Probably. Does he have like a thing with like coins?
Yeah, he's got the coin.
Okay. Yeah, so
I know. One of the things I really love about the animated series is they set up Harvey Dent as a character before he becomes Two-Face. So Harvey Dent is like the district attorney in Gotham. And yeah, I don't know. I think like, I don't know, just him and being introduced was like perfect. Like him flipping the coin in his like chair and then it just like cutting to him. And then he never shows up the rest of the episode. But if you know like who that is, you're like, oh.
Well,
And,
I didn't.
And if you don't, like, it's like, but like, what were your thoughts?
He never showed up
like,
again.
were you
So
confused or like, were you just like, okay.
I was like, who the freak is this guy? Why did he never show up again?
Because you do find out, I don't think we're going to be able to watch this episode, but in the Poison Ivy episode, he's in it. And it sets up his character way more, like it establishes way more. And I was going to say another one of the things I wrote down was I think it's interesting how like Batman and like also Alfred, he's there. They aren't even like the first people introduced in the series.
That's
like
true.
it's like
That's
it's
true.
like major character wise.
Other people.
You
first.
see Commissioner Gordon, Harvey Bullock, Hamilton Hill, and Harvey Dent before you see them. And it's like I think that's cool. Like I think that's like an interesting thing that it's just not like. And like even before that, you see like Man-Bat before you see Batman.
His name is Man-Bat?
His name is Man-Bat.
Because that's what I was thinking. I was like looking at this guy and I was like, that is not a Batman. That is a Man-Bat.
Yeah, his name's
he's like the opposite. Okay, so now he has a name. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like his wife.
Oh yeah,
She's
Slay.
silly. I hope nothing bad happens to her.
I don't know. I don't remember.
That makes me
I
nervous.
don't even know if there's another Man-Bat episode.
Oh, okay.
Big fan, but like I don't know. And we probably won't watch another episode of Man-Bat because like this might be a controversial opinion, but I'm not a big like Kirk Langstrom fan.
He was just interesting, I will say.
Like, can you expand on that? I'm curious.
Like, he just had like this weird vibe to him that like it kind of gives evil scientists, but like in a way that like evil scientists don't give. Like if you look at like what's like a really big evil scientist that like everyone knows? Or like mad scientist. Victor Frankenstein.
Oh my god, we both thought of Frankenstein.
Victor Frankenstein is like this one guy who's like so like obsessed, and like Man-Bat guy, whatever his name is also like obsessed, but like in a way that's like not. How do I explain this? Like
okay, I don't know if this is what you're trying to say, but this was another thing I wrote down, is I think one of the things that I also really love about the series, and that a lot of people really love about the series, is how it like handles like the villains. It did something, like this was never done before. This is like a new thing that started with this series, is it makes these villains like way more empathetic, and like you kind of sympathize with them more, and you kind of feel bad for them by the end of the episode. And a part of this was like making them like struggle with like mental health issues. So this episode, and then again, I don't think we're gonna get to this episode, but the Clayface episodes, it shows like addiction, and it's like a weird like sci-fi superhero addiction where it's like I'm addicted to this fictional like drug, but it's like it still is addiction, and it's like I think it's interesting that they put that in like a kids show, and like again like I don't know if you know this, but like they're one of the reasons that like this show is one of the reasons that like cartoons were able to like become what they are today, instead of like the oversaturated stuff from like the 60s where like they weren't allowed to do anything. This show like broke so many like censorship barriers, and so yeah, they were able to tackle these like heavy themes like addiction and like and I think that's just like really neat. And I think this episode specifically was a very interesting take on it, because also at the end of the episode too, he doesn't take Man-Bat to prison. He
just takes him right back to his wife, and he's like,
back to his wife, and it's just like,
here's your
don't let
guy.
it happen again. Like. So I think that's really interesting. I think that also shows like Batman's sympathetic side from like the very first episode.
Because like Batman's not that one guy who just has no feelings. He's got feelings.
Yes, it's like, and that's such like important thing that I feel like it's forgotten about a lot. And I love how that's like in the very first episode of the series, because it's like, I don't know, it's not stressed enough often, I think. And I think this series is very good at portraying that, and I'm glad it showed up in like the very first episode.
Absolutely. It was a good episode. I enjoyed it a lot.
Do you have any other thoughts?
No, I think that's it.
Really? Okay, hold on. Let me check my notes, because I wrote notes. Oh. I kind of already said like, I think that I do want to say I do think this episode It's a very great set up for the show, and a lot of people agree with that. It perfectly captures like the aesthetics, like the mood, the tone, and it's like just like perfect. Like, what do you think about that? Like the general aesthetics.
I actually really liked it a lot. And I was kind of geeking out over like colors in every scene, and I thought it was a little good. I was amazed at how like everything fit with everything. Like no matter how you interpret it, it fit.
Yeah, it's just like it has such a consistent like style, and it's just like a specific just like vibe, and it's like it just works so well, especially with like Batman, because this was the first time like he had that like darker, like, have you seen like the '60s show?
No.
You really? Wait, what did you take in like middle school for electives? Because we watched that in the drama classes, the like 6th and 7th grade dramas.
Did.
Yes. Oh,
Do not remember
and you
that.
were not there because we watched them. And anyways, so that's like the weird, silly, goofy Batman. And that was pretty much Batman up until that point. Besides in like the comics where it's like, that's a whole other can of worms. But like, he was like very silly, goofy in like non-comic media. And so like this show was like the first take on like a more like darker atmosphere on Batman. And I think it's a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I mean, that's pretty much it for this episode.
We summed up our episode. So next week, we will actually be switching off. I will be the clueless one now.
I will be the connoisseur.
Yes. Do we want to reveal or do we want to make it a surprise?
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned to find out.
Your hint is my nails.
Ooh. Really? What are they?
Black and red.
Okay.
If you can piece that together, you're smart.
So yeah, next week, we will be switching off to Azure, who will be showing me a show from something I really love, but I don't know a lot about. And then the week after that, it'll go back to me, and it'll just switch off like weekly. So
stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. Also, we are not going in chronological order. I'm picking and choosing. I don't know about you, but I'm picking and choosing episodes. So we're not watching episode 2.
We'll see. We'll see.
Wow, you're pretty clueless.
At least I have a connoisseur.
Yay!